Hana, and welcome to Voices of Truth One-on-One with Hawaii's Future, brought to you by the Kiwane Foundation. I'm Ahuke Kahu Cardwell, and here we are today in Hana on the island of Maui. And I'll tell you this right now, we have a fascinating guest on the show, so let's go on over here and meet him. Francis.
Aloha.
How are you, Francis? Sinenci, did I say?
Sinenci.
Sinenci.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Spanish.
Spanish, really? So you're Hawaiian Spanish?
No, I'm Hawaiian Filipino, but that's the Spanish last name.
Gotcha, Hawaiian Filipino. Francis, tell us where we are today. This is beautiful here.
We're at Koki Beach in Hana, Maui, and we're on the Hamua Peninsula.
Wow, this is amazing. Now, Francis, we wanted to have you on the show because you do something very special, something very few people can do that back in the old days they used to do a lot of, yes?
Yes.
And what is that?
Build hollies or thatched houses to sleep and to meet in, and for canoes and for cooking and for storing and for multiple purposes.
So you build the kind of hale or a house that used to be in ancient Hawaii, yes?
Yes, just the architecture style.
Wonderful. And tell us what the architecture style is. What does that mean?
Architecture style meaning we shape all the pieces of wood so they fit together, and we use only lashings to hold them together. There's not one piece of metal in my hollies unless somebody nails something in it.
When you're not looking.
When I'm not looking.
So there's no nails in there, there's no metal.
No metal.
And the wood is carved or cut so that it all fits together.
Yeah.
And then it's latched.
Lashed. We use nylon cord because the county requires us for public safety to use nylon cord. Somebody asked me one day to go build a holly, and I go, what's that? And of all things, I was teaching in the Hawaiian Studies Kupuna program. And they said, a house. I said, you mean a grass shack? But that's all I was raised. We didn't call it holly, we just called it a grass shack because I was brought up with that name, grass shack.
So when they asked you, at that point, you had no idea how to build one of these, huh?
I said yes. I didn't have an idea. So my Kupuna teachers asked me if I would go down to Waimea Falls Park to talk to Uncle Rudy Mitchell, who was at that time an archaeologist there. So when I went to see him, he started drawing these mortise and tenons, or the male and female joints. Mm-hmm. And I go, I know how to do that. He goes, oh, you do? Well, you talk to me? I goes, well, when I was in the 6th grade at Hana School, in the 6th grade, that was my homework. I had to do a show and tell, and I chose holly over all the other Hawaiian things, of all things.
Wow.
And then it was like deja vu. Everything just came back to me.
When you did the show and tell in 6th grade, Francis, what made you choose the holly over anything else?
It was the way it was carved. And it was in a book that I got from Bishop Museum. It was in our library. So this had to be about I was in the 6th grade, so what, 12 years, maybe in the early 50s, yeah.
Wow, all right, so you had drawn drawings of this,
mm-hmm.
but you had actually never built one.
Never built one.
Okay, so what happened? Tell us what happened when you tried to build your first one.
Well, Uncle Rudy says, he started drawing, he goes, before you start it, you need to go do some research. So I went and did further research at the Bishop Museum, and it was like duck soup. So I had to build one for one of my schools that I was teaching at, and I built it. It was like easy to me. And when I called Uncle Rudy Mitchell up to come and inspect my work, and he looked at this little bitty old commoner's holly, smaller one. And
the one you built?
The one I built at the Hale School on Oahu. Mm-hmm. And he said, wow, you got it. And I used all natural fiber stuff. I didn't use nylon. And he says, no, if you want to become a master, you got to build one at least 20 by 40 feet. I looked at Uncle Rudy, I goes, I'll never become a master. Because there's too much work just to build a small one.
How big was the small one?
I think it was like about 7 by 5, something like that.
So it was real small.
It was small. It was just a commoner's,
Yeah.
House.
Yeah.
But it was nice.
It'd be like a condo today.
No, it would be like a tent.
What was your next house that you built? How big was that?
It went from there, then I built a cow holly, which is like a living compound. And I built a sleeping holly, a cooking holly, a man's holly, and a woman's holly. And then later on I built a halauva'a, which is a canoe house.
Huge.
20 by 40.
Yeah, okay. So you worked your way up.
Yeah.
How long did it take you from the time you built your very first one up to the canoe house, the big one?
About a year.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. So at that point you became a master.
Well, I didn't consider myself to be a master, but Russell Apple said, you're a master, so I said, okay.
Good. So
Okay.
then what happened? You started building them for other people or what?
Somehow the word got around and I just built one here, built one there. I mean, I don't remember all the hollies. It's been over 200, so.
You built over 200,
Over 200.
hollies.
Yes.
Over how many
I think
years?
this is number 145.
Really? So you've logged all of them in. You know.
I used to
all of
log them on, but I would have a book this thick,
Wow.
so I just let my work be the book.
How did you get so good at this? Was it just trial and error, or did you study with other people, or?
Well, being in the Air Force, I used to work with parachute cords, and I used to work, I even did a prop. I did props for different projects, and I was survival equipment specialist, so I kind of knew, how to do things naturally.
So you've actually worked with these materials or materials close to these for a long time, yeah?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
but not hollies, just lashings.
Wow.
Stuff.
Have you built any holly like this that people actually live in today, Francis? Full time?
I'm gonna say, yeah, we live in ours.
Do you really?
Well, we use it all the time. I slept in my holly for 61 days once, just to break a record of my friend from the mainland, holly guy.
Yeah?
He came over there, he goes, I want to sleep in a holly. So he put his mosquito net and his bunk, and he slept in there for 60 days. When he left, he goes, you ain't never slept in a holly for 60 days. I goes, no, I sleep in a house. He goes, well, I'm the holly that hold the record. So after he left, I slept in the holly for 61 days. Called him up, I says, I broke your record.
So you still hold the record today?
Yes. Well, as far as I know.
Wow. Amazing. All right, Francis, we've talked about the hollies. We've talked about how you learned to build the hollies. Now, can we walk into this holly and take a look at it?
Sure.
Wonderful. Let's do that. Francis, this is it, huh? Look at this.
Yeah, holly and alu we built this for the surfers of Hana.
I can see why. Here's the surfboard right here. What's the size of this holly?
This is about 5'10", about 18 by 12. And we don't measure. I walk it off.
You walk it
Back
off.
in the old days, they didn't have tape measures.
Right. How
So,
high?
This one is about 13 feet.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, let's talk about the materials.
Materials.
So let's start with the posts. What kind of wood?
This is invasive Casuarina equisetifolia. It's
What's common name?
Pine tree.
Pine tree.
Yeah,
Okay.
we call this a pine
Just
tree.
like right over here.
Yep.
So you cut some down from here?
Yeah. In fact, you see that stump on this tree right here? This is the branch that used to be on that one.
No kidding.
Yeah.
This came right from over there.
Right from there.
And this is the same type of wood.
Same time. All of this is all ironwood.
Okay.
Ironwood.
Ironwood is the
Yeah.
common name. All
Ironwood.
right, super. And then what about the thatching here? What is this?
Thatching is fan palms. The Hawaiian name for it is lolu. Lolu. L-O-U-L-U.
Uh-huh.
And it's the most common and most available thatching material that we have. So we use, just like back in the old days, Aikamelo, or you use what you got.
You use what you have.
That's right.
And this is some of it right here, yeah?
Yes.
And
That
you-
happens to be a Chinese variety.
So do you have to let it dry out before you use it, or do you put it on green?
You can put it on green if it's matured. And to tell if it's matured, you can tell by how it's on the leaf. If it's like this and down, it's ready to go. If it's standing up like this, you don't use it.
Why not?
Because it hasn't lost its sugars, and then it'll deteriorate faster. I can look at a tree and say, I want that one, and then somebody will say, oh man, that's a junk one. I go, no, it's perfect. So it's like canoe builders. They can look at a log and say, that's perfect. And you look at it and it's like curvy.
Right.
Yeah.
How long did it take you before you had the eye to do that?
About my fifth holly.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I had to go out and harvest all the wood myself.
And that's
'Cause
heavy.
everybody thought I was crazy, doing.
That's a big job, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you take a branch like that, then you have to carve it down into something like this, right?
No, we cut them to size,
So it
we
literally is
pick-
on the tree in this size and shape, yeah? And you just cut the little branches
No,
off?
you cut the branches off and we debark it, because if you leave the bark on, then it gives the insects house to stay in, and like termites and stuff.
We've talked about the posts, we've talked about the thatching. What's left? The cordage?
Cordage. In the old days, they used senet,
Uh-huh.
a senet cord made out of coconuts.
Woven tightly together, yes?
Yeah. And but it's not strong enough for a holly for nowadays, because it takes a lot of stress, and we'd have to use more. We have to use more wraps. For instance, each one of these junctures right here that's lashed together, it's rated about 1,000 pounds.
Is that right?
Yeah. So actually, the cord is stronger than the wood.
As you wrap these have to be wrapped very tight, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get them so tight?
Well, actually, you don't wrap it tight. You tighten it afterwards.
Really?
You make your wraps in line. You make all your routing, and then you choke it or throttle it right here. Touch that. See how hard that is?
Yep.
That's the tightener. It's like each time you pull it, it's like tightening the screw.
Gotcha.
So each wrap you make, it's like screwing it down tighter.
Okay. So Francis, you had to do it not only here, but up here, and then all the way
Everywhere.
up there. Everywhere. Everywhere. Okay. So tell us, please, what is the order that you build this hale
It's
in?
called the order of erection.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta first you gotta plant the 4 corner posts,
Okay.
and then you use the 4 corner posts to line up all your other posts. Then you have to build what's called an olokea. It's a scaffolding system that is ergonomic because it fits the human body. While you're working on the holly, you're actually in this position, conforming to the pitch of the roof. I designed the olokea, or the scaffolding system, so you can sit like this and actually make your lashings right in front of you like this. You make a lashing here, you slide. In fact, here's the perfect example right here. This is how you work, facing outwards. So everything is done on the inside of the holly, thatching and everything. So you're working in this comfortable and safe position. You got one foot on one rung, okole on the other rung, and your back on this rung. And then if you're fortunate enough, you get one on your head too. It's comfortable, safe.
Okay. But the scaffolding is up. huh?
It's up, it's shaped like this. It's shaped
Okay.
just like. In fact, when we're building the scaffolding, people wonder if that's the real house or not, but it's just the scaffolding. It's got to conform to the pitch and the size of the holly and to the human body. Like, I couldn't put this high like this, I'd fall through.
Right.
So it has to be like this.
Right.
In fact,
Okay. So you do the 4 posts first.
then you line up and put all the other posts,
Okay.
so you're in line.
Then you put the scaffolding.
Then you
huh?
put the scaffolding in.
Okay.
And then you start putting your o'as, what we call o'as, which are the rafters.
These up here.
Yeah, the pitch like this. the
Okay.
pitch. And then you tie all of these aho puels, which is called purlins, and then you put the smaller purlins. You actually lace in the smaller purlins. It's called the thatch purlins, and then you put your thatching on.
Wow. But the thatching. I mean, before you put the thatching on, you put the cordage on. Yes.
Yes, we have a different kind of cord for that. Here, we use something like raffia
Uh huh.
to put it on. Back in the
Wow.
old days, they did it differently. In the old days, they split the leaves, and then it's like this. You attach it almost like this. You split the leaves, and it's like arms going in between. So, like you split the leaf. Let me show you. Example. So you put this around like this. So all the way up, but can you imagine if you had a strong wind, it'd blow it off.
Yeah.
when I first built, I didn't use this. I used tea leaves. Tea leaves take like, a holly this size would take over 500,000 tea leaves.
No kidding. Wow.
I built only one or two houses in Hawaii, the first two that were built in modern time.
With tea leaves.
With tea leaves, dried, made into bundles that have, when you look, it's really pretty. It's got a cross stitching that's really nice. We got some old pictures at the museum, but.
Francis, where do you get 500,000 tea leaves?
Uh-huh.
Really?
No, all the kupunas went out and got the tea leaves for me.
Really?
Yeah.
So, how long did it take you to build this holly?
We only did it when the surfers came in to help. About elapsed time, maybe about, I would say, 7 days.
7 days? How many people did you have helping you?
Between 3 and 7, alternating.
Wow, that's very fast. A week?
Oh, yeah, it is fast because you got each thing is tied in separately. And it takes, it can take an amateur about 5 to 10 minutes just to make that. It takes me about 58 seconds.
To make this?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. All right, Francis, now I got to ask you, how many different pieces
There's
are
7
in
different.
this house total?
I don't know what the total is in this house unless I count it, but there's 7 different members of the holly, like a post, a side post, a center post. So there's 7 different sizes that go into the holly. You just gotta know which one goes where.
Francis, you must have built a lot of holly like this on Maui, yeah?
Yes, at one point there was more holly in Hana than in the entire state.
Really?
Yes.
More of these in Hana than in all of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about some of the interesting ones you built?
Not in Hawaii. The most interesting one I built was in China.
Really?
Yes.
In China?
In China, on the island of Sanya, Hainan. And it still stands there, and I built it. It's in 12 live trees, and it's still there. I just recently saw it in the Tree Houses of the World, the book Tree Houses of the World, and it's still immaculate.
Wow, and how did they know to get a hold of you to build that?
Somebody was going to get an architect. Said he had to go to China to do something Hawaiian at a Sanya cultural theme park, and he found out I was building holly, so he decided to go over there and build a tree holly. So it's a 3-story holly, 12 trees. The bottom was all pipe wire rocks, traditional, and then they put a floor in, untraditional, and then in the loft area there's 4 rooms. 4 rooms split in 4. So.
How long did it take you to build that?
It took me to go over there, harvest, and get all the materials together. It took me about 6 weeks in China.
Wow. How many holly have you built on Maui?
I don't know, maybe about 30 or 40.
30 or 40. Have you built any?
Some of them are the legends already. They went back to the earth.
Francis, you know, the holly that you build, do you think these are going to be just for, you know, a few places where people come and go to see them, to see how they were built in the old days? Or do you think these may catch on again and people start to actually live in them?
Yes, people are going to start living in it. I was on the Big Island, and we're going to build a living village.
Really?
On the Big Island over at Kaloko Fish Ponds?
Yes.
In fact, it's in the design stage right now. I just met with the architect. And we didn't know. We went over there. He says, "You're hired, you're going to do it." I goes, "Oh, we didn't know that."
So how many holly are you going to build there?
We're going to build, I think, 5, I think.
5.
Yeah.
And people are actually going to start living in those, yes?
Mm-hmm. That's what they said.
What's the cost of building one of those? Just the labor?
The labor, the cords, and cement, transportation, of course, feeding the people.
Right.
That's the main cost.
So what would it cost somebody if they wanted to have a holly built?
It can range from free
Okay.
to 150,000.
Really?
Well, I haven't built a 150,000 one, but at the bottom line can be 150,000. But what we do is we work with the nonprofit or whoever wants a house, of the holly, and we knock the cost down. Okay, you do this, I do this. We have memorandums of agreement, and we can actually drop them down to less than 100,000 or less.
My goodness.
So, I mean, it depends on the size of the house.
How long do your hollies last that you build?
I would say about 10 years right now. Thatching.
Really?
Yeah, thatching.
Okay, so in 10 years' time, the thatching needs to be replaced.
Not necessarily replaced. What I've told the owners of the hollies is you can actually, if you catch them at the 6-year point, over thatch it, you double the life of the one underneath.
Really?
So you cover it. Like this right here, we're going to completely over thatch it. And then it's going to keep the ones there.
Underneath.
Yeah.
It preserves it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doubles the life of the one on the bottom.
Wow.
So,
Francis, have you gone into any other cultures around the world and studied or looked at the type of houses that they build? And are there any similarities to what you build?
I've been to Tahiti. Mm-hmm. I was on a project there, archaeological project. But our style and Tahitians are the same.
Exactly the same.
Almost exactly the same, because we use K's, they use T's, but all the names of the members of the holly are almost the same. I looked at some of the structures in China, but you know, they've kind of gotten away from the old ways. Like they'll put a nail in there and they'll wire it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So they've really gone modern. You know,
Gotcha.
using modern materials. But I tell you what, I just did a job yesterday. The guy was trying to screw bamboo, and bamboo was split. I guess wrong thing. So now my lashings are stronger than his nuts and bolts. Nuts and bolts, if you put them in there, it'll immediately weaken the house, because you got to drill a hole and then it's split. So binding in non-dimensional wood is always better than using metal.
I know in the Hawaiian culture there is a physical aspect, but then there's also the non-physical or spiritual aspect. Is there a spiritual aspect to the holly that you build?
We have some protocol when we build a holly.
Okay.
For instance, to ho'omana, to give your holly spiritual power, or keep the evil spirits away, you plant a fish underneath the center pole.
Really?
And every holly we build, it depends on who the ali'i was. You can use either a velvel or a nai or a hole fish. And that a hole means to strip. So when you put a hole in your house, it strips your house of evil. So that's a spiritual significance. When you go to bless the holly, you need to cut the tuft of grass that's at the puka or the entrance. You cut that, and that's like your pico. You know, your mom always keeps your pico safe from the rats.
Yeah.
The center, the pico. So, yeah, there's a lot of rituals with the holly.
Do you teach other people to build them?
I actually have a halau of 40 dedicated students, 8 alaka'is, and under each one, I have 4. So it's 1 lima, which is 1 hand. So I have 8 limas.
So 40
people. Yes, it's a significant number too.
The knowledge of being able to build these hollies is starting to spread.
Yes.
Anybody off the island of Maui that can do this?
Sure.
Really?
I got hamana on every island. You'd have to go build by yourself 6 hollies before I even consider you to be a certified builder. You have to be certified in Hawaii to build this holly. And you got to be certified by me and University of Hawaii, because it's put into the building codes. So right now I'm the only person that can certify everybody in Hawaii.
You're the only person that can do that. Wow.
Yes.
And so if somebody wants to come study with you, they have to build 6 holly on their own before they come study with you?
No, they can build with me anytime.
Okay.
And they keep a logbook, and I got to know them, and they have to know everything. We have every morning when we start something, we have to do our protocol. We have a chants that we do in the morning, and we have an exercise or a haka that we do. The haka is the order of erection of the holly from start to beginning. Planting the post, building the pai, lashing everything, putting the olake up, finally putting the thatching up. So
you actually dance that,
we
yes?
do that, yes.
Wow.
We have a haka.
Wow. What's the youngest and what's the oldest?
13.
13, and what's the oldest?
At one time he was 75 years old.
When he first came to you?
Yeah, he died at 82 or something.
But a 75-year-old guy came to you and said, Francis, I want to learn to build a hale, yeah?
Yeah, he's Mr. Paul Kealoha from Hana.
Wow.
But I'm 75 now, so going to be 75.
Francis, what is the message of building these hales for not only people in Hawaii, but maybe people around the world?
The message is that we really need to preserve our culture and go back to Mother Nature. Because when everything's gone, boom, you got to be able to survive. And one of the things is knowing how to build a canoe, how to plant your food, and how to make shelter.
Wow. Wow, amazing. And that's where we got to leave it. Francis, mahalo for being on Voices of Truth and showing us your hale. Please keep doing what you're doing. Please don't stop. It's wonderful. It's awesome. Very inspiring. And to our viewers, mahalo to you for joining Francis and me here in his hale. Remember, you can watch us on the web 24/7 on voicesoftruth.tv.com, and you can visit Voices of Truth one-on-one with Hawaii's Future on Facebook. I'm Ehuke Kahu Cardwell for the Kiwani Foundation, along with Francis here. And until next time, ahui ho! Mahalo for watching Voices of Truth one-on-one with Hawaii's Future. Watch us on the web 24/7 at voicesoftruth.tv.com. You'll find all our shows, including this one, in case you want to see it again or share it with family and friends. Also view our weekly video commentaries at freehawaiitv.com. And check out our blog, published daily, at freehawaii.info. It's all part of the Free Hawaii Broadcasting Network.